Major. Good afternoon. We thank you all for being here in person and for those viewing online. My name is Megan Mooney. I'm the Director of Communications for the City of Hobbs, and at this time I will now introduce Chief Fonz and his team.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for being here this afternoon. My name is August Fonz. I'm the Interim Chief of Police for the Hobbs Police Department, and I just want to recognize the people that are up here with me. Captain Jeff Moyers, Captain Chad Wright, Captain Danny Garrett, Sheriff Corey Helton, and Captain Shane Blevins, as they all participated in this investigation and assisted us with it. As I'm sure all of you are already aware, we had an officer-involved shooting last night, and we wanted to give you a status update and a few comments. Most importantly, the Hobbs PD officer who was shot last night is currently in good, stable condition, recovering with his family, and I would be remiss if I didn't first, on behalf of the police department and the city of Hobbs, extend our full thoughts and prayers to the family for a speedy recovery. As was explained in the written press release earlier today, an HPD officer stopped to check on a vehicle that appeared to be stranded last night or some way incapacitated in the 1900 block of North Turner. Body cam footage from the officer's body cam revealed that the officer was talking to the driver and the suspect and asking him to step out of the vehicle, at which time the driver of the vehicle fled on foot, which was followed shortly by multiple gunshots, during which time both the officer and the driver suspect were shot. There was also a female in the vehicle who was detained by another officer. As this officer was rendering aid to the wounded officer, the female fled the scene, got into an empty police unit, drove away, and very shortly thereafter crashed. She then fled on foot, and she's currently at large. She's been identified as Janessa Perez, 28 years of age, of Hobbs, New Mexico. Citizens are advised not to approach Perez, but to contact law enforcement and local law enforcement and/or the New Mexico State Police if they become aware of her location. The suspect has been identified as Daniel Ramirez. He was initially transferred from the scene to Covenant Hospital in Hobbs, where he died a short while later. He had an extensive violent criminal history. He shot several people in the past, along with drug arrests, escapes, domestic violence, and unlawful carrying of a deadly weapon. However, we certainly understand that the loss of life is tragic for this family and everyone involved. Janessa Perez also has a lengthy criminal history, including arrests for felony aggravated battery, domestic violence, drug violations, concealing identity, and numerous warrants. Due to our officer being involved in the shooting, the New Mexico State Police are conducting and in charge of this investigation, and any further details regarding the investigation itself will be deferred to NMSP and also released in media releases by New Mexico State Police. I want to express my sincere appreciation to the local New Mexico State Police officers for their immediate response and assistance to the scene. Captain Bateman with New Mexico State Police in Roswell called me immediately following the shooting last night and mobilized their investigative unit to Hobbs to begin the criminal investigation. These officers are currently on scene working. Lee County Sheriff Corey Helton, Under Sheriff Mike Walker, and the Lee County Sheriff's Office deputies offered their full assistance, calling out deputies in the middle of the night and early in the morning today to assist us with calls for service. We're very grateful for their help, and I'm proud to be a member of this coalition of law enforcement in Lee County who are always and without question there to help us in any time of need. As always, the Hobbs Fire Department personnel and the medical staff and doctors at Covenant Hospital are unconditionally excellent at what they do. I also received a call from Mr. Jeremy Romero this afternoon with the governor's office, checking on our officer and offering any assistance that they could provide. I want to express how very proud I am to work with the officers of the Hobbs Police Department. I see acts of courage, empathy, compassion, teamwork, and leadership every single day that I work here. These officers quite literally put their life on the line each and every day, which was certainly demonstrated last night. They perform unbelievably well under extremely difficult, high-stress situations, including deadly assaults on themselves. Very unfortunately, things continue to get worse. According to the National Fraternal Order of Police, 364 officers were shot last year, the highest numbers since they ever started recording annual deaths in this country. Ambush attacks on police are up 115% from the year 2020. We're certainly living in a dangerous time, there's no question. My greatest fear is having to notify a family of an officer's line of duty death, and I thank God above I didn't have to do that last night. The number of violent criminals on the street and the violence that they perpetrate in our community continues almost unabated. I follow in the steps of New Mexico State Police Chief Tim Johnson, who 2 weeks ago, addressing the media in response to one of his own officers being shot, appealed to legislators and those who have the power to change to address bail reform and other changes in the law that will keep these violent felons off of our streets and make our community safer. I absolutely and completely agree. While so many today in our society are critical of police and the criminal justice system, I would suggest that they are unequivocally wrong. While not perfect, police officers are out there 24/7, willing to make whatever sacrifices are necessary to keep all of us safe. We, Hobbs Police Department, are very fortunate to live in a community with citizens and lawmakers that support its police department, and we will continue to uphold our tradition of honorable law enforcement. All we ask in return is reciprocal consideration. And with that being said, I'll open myself up for questions.
What hospital did the officer get transported to?
He was transported to Lubbock, I believe it was UMC.
Do you happen to have the officer's name released?
We're not releasing it right now.
And do you know who fired first? Was it the officers or the suspect?
I don't know at this time, sir.
And will you be releasing any body cam video?
Yes, the body cam video will be released.
And I guess last question is, do you have the location of the convenience store where it first happened?
The location where it first happened,
Yes.
it was up on 1900 North Turner where the initial contact was made.
Actually, one where the female suspect, was she in handcuffs before she got into the car, or?
My understanding is that she was handcuffed, but I don't know the details on what transpired after that. The state police will reveal that at a later time. Okay, thank you very much.